Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly dungeon master today, because today we're carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Carl Sargent's outstanding mega adventure, Night Below, which we're playing with the most recent version of Dungeons & Dragons. That is Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the 2024-2025 versions. I really need to find a, has the internet developed a shorthand for these new ones? Are they just saying D&D 2024 now?
That's a good question. Anybody? I've seen 5.2, 5.24.
5.24, I'm going to call it that from now on. That makes much more sense. But with me tonight are the stars of our ongoing Night Below campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up, we've got Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew, and I'm playing Shuktu Gemfinder, a Sverflieblen Ranger, and his trusty sidekick Beetlebeat.
Very nice. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Kalador, the Elven Fighter Rogue.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is George.
Hey everybody, I'm George. I'm playing Knox, the Unexpected, who is a human School of Evocation wizard, apocalypse domain cleric.
Very nice. Philip says a lot of people I know just call it 6E.
6E. Well, there you go. That's that's not untrue either. So
no.
6E, 5.24, all good.
Yeah. So, guys, Andrew was unable to join us last time. What do you recall happening? Oh, actually, it was a lot of focus on Dave's character for the first half of the session last time, and then the reaction to that. I think, Jeff, were you here last week, or did you?
I was also not here last week.
Oh, right. So then it's going to be some heavy lifting for George of what happened last time. So let me move you guys over to Risen Spire Keep, and then we'll talk about what happened last time. Let's see, where are you here? Arisen Spire Keep. There we are. So, what do you guys recall having happened last time?
So, kind of picking up a thread that we hadn't delved into, we got to do a bit of a flashback to Alisha. And, her disappearance in terms of our other characters. We had no idea what happened to her, just that she had departed the keep, seemingly of her own volition. And that actually was, we were able to verify that based on what the flashback that we got to witness, which was Alisha being approached while in the keep, approached by Brother Estwood.
Yeah.
From the Church of St. Cuthbert.
Yep. In Threshold.
In Threshold, known to some, not to all.
There's been now two other groups. It is George's character from Alicia's war story. Bukara Bent worked for him. And then all of you guys in our 4E war story had been approached by Brother Estwood as well. So Brother Estwood's made a couple of appearances thus far. But yeah.
Yes, and he is a character in the story sense of the word. And he didn't let us down this time either, because he basically convinced Alisha to head out of the keep, because two of Alicia's companions are out there waiting for her. Tell me if I get any of this wrong, Kevin, but this is my recollection. And so she agreed ultimately to head out there with him, went out to this camp.
So she did meet them, but she wasn't told that they were alive as of yet. She was told that she wasn't the only one who survived, and was told that there was a task that still needed completing. And he definitely played on her mistrust of Knox and her sense of duty to pressure her into joining him and leaving all of you behind.
And she is dedicated to St. Cuthbert, so it's not against her, what she's dedicated to, but she did it with some reluctance, only to find when she got there that there were two of her companions in this encampment. And I'm trying to remember, I didn't write down the names of the two.
There's Ned.
Ned and Vulir.
Volkir.
That's right. Okay.
Volkir Dragonborn.
So they were there waiting for her, and something strange wound up happening because turned out they were not who they appeared to be. These the ones that were doppelgangers?
That is
doppelgangers?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So turned out they were Sioux doppelgangers, SU.
The theory is that they were.
The theory, okay.
Yeah.
This is what we believe to be the case. And that's from the Sioux doppelgangers, a kind of more rare kind of doppelganger that has the ability to cast, to have more control over themselves and things. And they can, for example, they can cast spells.
Yeah, they can learn spells, they can develop careers and whatnot, whereas doppelgangers themselves are more just mirrors for other beings, so they don't develop the way that Sioux doppelgangers can. Sioux doppelgangers, George, you remember how they get their name of Sioux doppelganger?
Yeah, that they were created by, I want to say, the Suloids.
Correct. Yes, just like the Darrow.
That's right. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, obviously Alisha was taken aback by this revelation, not entirely happy about being tricked. Seemed like Brother Estwood was not a doppelganger of any kind, as far as we know. But that's when Estwood sort of laid out the mission at hand and the reason she was called out there. Because Brother Estwood thought that perhaps Alisha wouldn't leave the party behind to go accomplish this mission. The mission was to find a secret cache of, or a cache of secret texts, maybe is a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
Of what?
Secret texts that...
secret texts. Okay, yeah.
Text, yes, that contained powerful knowledge. Most likely arcane knowledge, potentially other kinds of knowledge.
Knowledge that was valued by the Scarlet Brotherhood in any event.
Right. They were, I want to say, I think now in my notes, they were recovered by a half-elf wizard.
They were brought to a half-elf wizard, yes.
Okay, allied with the Silent Ones?
Yes, correct.
Okay, Jorgos, I want to say, is the...
Jorgos is the surname. It is... Yeah. Pramis Jorgos is the name of the wizard who is allied with the Silent Ones, and his brother or his cousin is Richard Jorgos, who is the Viscount of Aor, which is the province basically right across the border of the Yeomanry. And that Viscount is related to the king of Kaelund. King...
yes.
What's his name? Scody... Kimberto Scody, I believe is his name.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. The Silent Ones are known for like aggressively suppressing any kind of dangerous knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
So the church, the St. Cuthbert Church, wants to get a hold of these texts. They want the information themselves because they don't want it to fall into the hands of either the Silent Ones, I think I have this right, or the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And so I think he believes, or I'm not sure if he's sure that this is where they are, but at least believes that they are in Haven, a town called Haven.
Yeah.
Which is in that province.
Yep.
So Alisha discovered all the information and ultimately returned to find the party. We had returned to the keep in this, during this, and she came back and saw everybody. We all kind of interacted with her, and by the end of that session, everybody that was there anyway, agreed to undertake this mission. Even though that's a little bit strong of a word to say, we all definitely thought that we might want to undertake this mission, even despite the fact that we have a lot of other things going on, because it was very pressing. It was sort of something happening right now, where the other things were more longer term. So those of us who were there, so that was Alisha, Shale, Knox. Was that everybody last week?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So the three of us, we all kind of together decided that maybe that was a good idea to pursue, but obviously we wanted to check with you as well, see what you thought. There were some other things that happened too. Quickly, about Knox contemplating his ultimate destiny, and that sort of thing, and his recent experience with Al-Hamazad, and maybe the idea of kind of reinventing himself. In some way going forward.
This somewhat fits into the at least the context of what Al-Hamazad had shared, in the sense that the Silent Ones are another legacy organization of the Sul, and the king of Kalador, he is descended from one of the important houses of the Sul, one of the 9, I believe, that accompanied the Magus out from the Slaratine, out from the ruin of the Sul Empire. Kalador was the kingdom that its legend says that, and the one historian says that it was an arrow when Slaratine died, pointing towards the founding of Kalador. So Kalador is sort of seen as the successor in some ways to the Empire of the Sul, even though there is a lot of intermarriage with the Flan, and in the case of the king's family, with the elves of the Dreadwood. And the Silent Ones are one of the Suli's magical organizations. They're the organization that basically monitors sorcerers and spellcasters in the Kingdom of Kalador.
And I want to say, I have in my notes that Morgur the Old.
Yeah, Morgur the Old is the master of the Silent Ones.
And I have that he may be going to the same county in the Yeomanry. Is that right?
That's correct. The thought is,
yeah, okay.
What Eswood thought was that they wouldn't, because they didn't want to risk transporting this stuff and leaving it open for the Scarlet Brotherhood to seize. Members of the important members of the Silent Ones are traveling to Haven in order to review the information that was seized from Westkeep down in the hold of the Sea Princes here, guys, when it was retaken by the king. The king has been actively, in the year that you guys have been kind of away, the Kingdom of Kalador is pushed down, and the hold of the Sea Princes that had fallen to the Scarlet Brotherhood, they retook Westkeep. And this cache of scrolls was something, or cache of texts, is something the Scarlet Brotherhood seemingly left behind. They didn't get a chance to either destroy it or secret it out of Westkeep before the forces of Kalador seized it and went running back up into Nome Aor. And now they're trying to figure out what to do with this. Seemingly...
yes,
oh, go ahead, George.
It reminded me of something, which is that, lest you think this sounds like an easy trip, we heard about Scarlet Brotherhood assassins, who may wind up being an issue. So we have to be on the lookout for that.
Wait,
because they want us back.
Sorry, I have a question. Can you go back to the map first?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Can you show us where the giants are in relation to where this mission would take us?
So you guys are about here,
right? Yeah.
Where the giants are is right up here.
Right there. Okay.
And where this would take you is
6 feet away.
in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of okay.
The downside is it does seem to be a pressing matter. If you
We could go there on the way back, and we're just not traveling way out, is what Kalador's thinking.
Yeah.
As he's hearing this story, because the point of visiting the giants was to help them, but also to learn more of their magic so that we could move around faster and
go back down.
Yeah. And so I think that's still heavy on Kalador's mind.
Sure.
Well, and like Cal is probably still pretty eager to get back down under to find. We still haven't actually found Tanev.
Exactly. We still have not found Tanev.
It's just going to be a running joke that I'm going to
True.
constantly have more facsimiles of Tanev.
I mean, it's been the running joke that it took us how long to go into the Underdark, and one could make the argument, not entirely unreasonably, that we still really haven't, because the party has only deigned to put their like baby toe into it. That's not on Kevin. That's when we got the chance to go. We were like, but do we really want to?
I think that's owing to high levels of intelligence. That's what I'm going to go with.
Well, yes.
Does it have to be a night below? Can it not be a night,
Yeah.
aside?
Can it just be like evening below?
Yeah.
We'll spend an evening below. We like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm realizing I forgot to load one thing here too. Let me just. You guys keep planning. I can't think of anything else that's missing.
I said Assassins of Scarlet Brotherhood. Suddenly he's checking for something.
That's a good idea too. Hold on, let me write that down.
What could it be?
Sadly, it is just a map.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
I've got a map of No Mayor. I don't remember where
cool.
I put it. But no, you guys keep talking though. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's what. So what did you both think of this question before us as to whether to undertake this mission from Brother Estwood or to potentially do something else?
I mean, we probably should.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, this is a good thing, and we have a limited amount of time to do it. So,
yeah, and I think other things like it's overland travel rather than Underdark, as you pointed out, Andrew. And we have Alisha back with us.
Yep.
So that's helpful as well. And it's something that Alisha wants to do. And Brother Estwood, while an odd bird in a way, is a good ally to have. It seems. Yeah, like he's got the church's agenda front and center, but this aligns in this moment definitely with what we would like to see done. So
that's one thing that was discussed right at the end too, was the fact that the Church of St. Cuthbert has a strong presence in the Kingdom of Caelland. The difference of the church in Threshold is it's the government in that region too. So it's simultaneously the interest of the church, but it may be more so the interest of Threshold that he's going out. So it is a reasonable question as to why he's taking steps against something that likely works in concert with the Church of St. Cuthbert, in at least the church as it exists within Caelland. So,
and in general, together those two entities, the church and the state, can be a bulwark against the Scarlet Brotherhood, and especially the Black Brotherhood within the Scarlet Brotherhood, who clearly have designs on ulterior motives of destroying the entire world. George,
that's a good idea too. Hold on, let me write that down.
Oh God!
Look, you would have come up with this without me. I get all this from you. This is why I think this way.
I learned it from you. Okay.
That's how we managed to survive for a while. It's like we pick these things up and go like, oh man, we're always going to be in trouble no matter what we try to do. So,
sorry, I'm trying to set
that's
up
the truth.
As Kevin just likes to say, I think that he likes to keep it interesting.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what? It's plenty interesting. Don't go crazy.
Yeah,
There
don't
we
worry
go.
too much about that interesting part.
All right.
So that's kind of the status of, or that's what happened last time, and this is kind of the status of where we are right now, is making this decision, trying to decide on ultimately what do we want to do. It kind of sounds like you both feel like that it makes sense at least to undertake this first and then go back onto the other things.
I think so. Yeah. Like, this is pressing, and it takes us sort of in the direction we want to go, so we can visit the giants on the way back.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think it's very reasonable.
Okay. Oh, this actually worked out nicely.
Ideally, this is not like, with Tana, for example, that took a while because we had to find him. Like, whereas here we know where we need to go. There's just there are fewer possibilities that we have to parse through to figure, to accomplish the mission. We just have to find this, find where the texts are and obtain them.
So,
not that it's gonna be easy. I just mean the number of things we have to do to kind of carry that out aren't as much as these other bigger long-term things.
One thing that's missing from this map obviously doesn't have our version of The Night Below in it. So it's missing where Newick is. It's missing all of Threshold and, East Haven and whatnot. Or Eastdale, I think is the... Eastdale, is that the name of the town? Whatever the name of the town is that you guys go into the thing. So, but Third Master, you can see is here. It also incorrectly puts a road down to Harleton. Remember, Harleton is a separate place from Milbourne, and Milbourne is a larger town than what Harleton is. So that's incorrect. But the location of Palfrey's Keep and the location of Haven in Noom Aor is correct on this.
That road is just part of this infrastructure bill that they're trying to push through. So
exactly. Palfrey's Keep is really trying to build. Let me see here. I think I
feel like we haven't done overland travel for like 2 years of real time in this campaign.
Oh, yeah, you might be right.
It's mostly underground. Yeah. So here's a map of the Flanace, or at least the Sheldamar Valley as well. That gives you a sense of where you guys are right in here. Down near...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right down there, I guess. That region right there. So, let me get rid of this because it is too high res to be legible.
Oh, yeah.
I will say I am glad that we got a Greyhawk map in the new DMG.
Oh, yeah, right.
I have my old original maps, but it's nice to have another. Like, they're falling apart, and I'm like really so reluctant to take them out now. So it's nice to have just another one. It's not a Darlene map, but it's cool.
It's a nice map, and I got my from the Ashes box set. It just gets like I can feel it starting to come apart every time I pull it off the shelf. So. Yeah. Okay, so then, guys, Kalador and Shaktu. So, Shaktu, you were the one. Remember, last time you played, the cliffhanger was you running into Alisha and then having that. So, what do you guys make of... Very nice. What do you guys make of... Well, I guess, Knox, have you shared what your thoughts are on your meeting with Al-Hamazad? I don't think that you've discussed that with either Cal or Shaktu yet.
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't. I have not. So, obviously, in the stream, I want to say 2 weeks ago when I wasn't here, but I was listening in, you were... I wrote in that I had told you guys what happened, but I will just actually tell you now, which is... I had that meeting, Al-Hamazad came sort of out of nowhere. He's a member of the Circle of Eight, as you know, but he is the only Bakalunish member of the Circle of Eight. So he definitely has a kind of different quality to him. He kind of looks different, has a different vibe. More of a mystic is sort of the, he's a wizard, but he feels more like a mystic. sort of healer, like a very chill, and had a conversation. Knox and he had a conversation, and mostly was Al-Hamazad sort of having the conversation with Knox, like I would say, and asking a lot of poignant questions.
Exposition wizard.
Ultimately,
exposition wizard.
Right. Exactly. So some of this you overheard from the session where that happened, but the conclusion of it was, you may recall that Al-Hamazad gave me a choice, which was he could sort of end my suffering right now, in terms of my current status with a certain chain god.
What are you talking about?
Or nothing. Exactly. Or to sort of take a different path potentially, and kind of based on that and lots of different things he discovered about himself and his heritage, and the fact that he could, in a way, he could be an element that could help save the world or help destroy the world, possibly. And that's why it wasn't Al-Hamazad just like it's sadistic and wants to murder people. Like it's a choice. Like, do I want to be a little? But it's like, do I want to be responsible for that happening if it goes the wrong way? And Knox did not want to be responsible. However, he also believed, given his companions and their and who they are and his relationships with them, he felt like with their help, he could sort of turn a corner and kind of leave Tharizdun behind, sort of letting go of that entire, even though he uses the divine power he received to help his companions and with healing and etc., that he would be willing to let all of that go and the power that he got from that in order to just to really become a wizard, like a full wizard, but kind of following more in the footsteps of Al-Hamazad, which is sort of not where he'd been going. He was very power oriented because his tribe had been wiped out, and there were reasons why he felt like having power would be beneficial. And secondly, the fact that he always felt like he was an outcast in his tribe because he was a wizard. My tribe is very warrior focused, and even looking at his stature, like you can see in the DNA of my people, like a lot of it would make sense for a lot of people would be warrior types.
Right.
He was just never very good at it, and he was good in terms of bending reality to his will. But even that sounds like an aggressive thing to do. And so he's seen something in Al-Hamazad that makes him feel like he could let go of the desire for power for himself, and instead embrace a kind of a softer power for his friends and his community and the world at large. And Al-Hamazad had that very peaceful way about him, despite the fact that he's incredibly powerful. So technically, because he's an archmage, I mean, this is sort of the ultimate. So after that conversation, thinking through everything and learning more about who he may be or who he is, who he comes from, like who his ancestors are, and realizing that despite the fact that he was really starting to believe that he was the Black Star that was going to bring about all kinds of horrors, potentially, that no, there is another chance here, and maybe he could not just avoid being the Black Star, but also do something good that could play a role in the outcome of this giant conflict that's going on, that's been going on behind the scenes, but we're now discovering. So Al-Hamazad sort of, he thought about it, but he felt like that was a good path to take, and that I definitely had a chance to do it. Not guaranteed. So I have a lot of work to do, but I've decided that I'm committing 100% to making this work. There'll be a lot of things I have to do and overcome along the way, but he has a quiet level of confidence after seeing Al-Hamazad as a model of who he could become, and just knowing that he's surrounded by people who have his back and want to see him, get to a better place. That doesn't mean he may not survive any of this, but at least if he doesn't, maybe he'll get to that place before it gets taken out, which is more important to him than anything else. It's just sort of just get to that new version of himself. So that's sort of like the outcome of all of that meeting of the minds with Knox and Al-Hamazad.
Well, I, for one, believe that you are destined to save the world, Knox, not destroy it.
I hope that is the case. And I thank you for believing in me. And it's especially Kalador. It's Chael and Kalador have been the two of his friends that he's actually confided in the most, and who have given him the most great advice, and who just been there for him.
Who remain with the party, at least, yeah.
Who remain with the party, exactly. Who's still here.
Yeah, I think you missed Druin's departure, Shuck, too.
Oh, yeah.
No.
You were there for that?
Okay.
No, I was here for, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't here for that, but I was watching that.
Oh,
that was that session that I was watching.
Yeah,
so,
I was here for Druin's departure. I'm like 99% sure.
No, I think you worked. So I think it was the two, you, Jeff, and Will for that session.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think, yeah.
That sounds
right. Chael tried to talk him out of it.
Yeah, and Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Then, and as a reminder too, you guys do have some training time to complete before you can level up as well.
Right.
And the winter is coming. To coin a phrase, I should write that down too. Hold on.
Yes. Yeah. That sounds good. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll catch on. Several people are currently have enough XP to be 10th level, and several people are like very close.
Yeah, on the cusp. Yes. So everyone can pre-train as well.
Great. Does it cost us money to train, Kevin?
No. Okay. I mean, like, there's a cost listed in the DMG, but like the cost is fucking like it's laughable. It is so low.
Yeah.
Like it's in comparison to the like thousands of GP that it was in 2E. Training cost for 5th to 10th level is 40 GP. Like, isn't that like less than plate?
Oh yeah, exactly. I think what is it? It's 100. It's 1,000 GP per level you're going to attain. So it'd be 10,000 GP.
Oh yeah,
I want to say.
In contrast,
yeah, right.
Yeah, to 2E, it's really like why bother having the cost?
Yeah, I wasn't. I saw that in the DMG. I was like, but why?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a couple zeros on there. Like, all right.
This kind of like the whole thing of Saul Goodman insisting on Walter and Jesse giving them $1 so that they could be he could retain them and then have Solicitor Client privilege. Is it a token thing?
Totally.
This or what?
Exactly. I mean, I thought the reson they gave that as an option was to, give something to do with people's, accumulated wealth in the game because people were like,
absolutely.
But it's nothing. No. It's like 40 GP.
There's a couple of things in the new DMG that just seem like, okay, I don't think it was really thought through.
Quite grasp the point of that. Yeah.
But
yeah,
whatever.
Healing, good. Healing is all good.
Yeah,
except for all the other problems.
It's only really the only two is that and then the change to the history of the invoked devastation is just like fucking baffling.
It is baffling. Like it almost seems like a mistake. I don't understand why it would. Why I don't understand the other changes. I'm like, I see why they did that. Whether I agree with it or not, I get why it was done. But in this case, I was like, I don't even understand. Why change it?
I don't know. So, it's fortunately. I mean, like, you make the game whatever you want, so like you can ignore that, and we'll ignore the training stuff. 20 days though is what you will require.
Okay.
And a ham sandwich. You guys have access to ham sandwiches, right?
Oh no! We
Oh,
need to go on a
no.
quest for ham sandwiches.
So,
Add
you
that
know,
to the
this is
list.
why they don't level up among the deep gnomes. They have no ham.
Right.
So
They're all first level.
So then, what? And I guess the other thing to address is your two dwarven. I don't want to say kidnappees, but guests.
But close.
Yeah. I mean, they were
First
first cursed, then drugged, and then kidnapped. So I think that's a variety of different crimes that you guys have indulged in.
That is true.
I thought we told them they were free to go. Am I confused?
I mean, like, you're in the middle of the Thornwood Forest. Where are they going to fucking go?
That's true.
I think we decided that they were, we were totally fine with them doing whatever they want, but we hadn't actually figured out what that was.
Okay.
Right.
But we could also,
So that's something.
we could, yeah.
I was saying that's something to decide maybe today. Then is what do you wish to do with
Cool.
Tordek and Gilder, whose name we can never say correctly.
Yeah, I think you're thinking it's just so we don't get it wrong. It's Goldfinger. God damn it.
So
get that out of the way.
Yeah, so they have. You guys have not spoken. I think we've been saying like we'll role play that out when we get to the point. But then we had Druin's departure, Knox's interaction with Al-Hamazad, Alicia's return. So,
yes,
Cal and Shuktu, what do you make of everything that has just gone on here?
Wow. I mean,
busy couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of discussed it while you're away from the computer, but the Shuktu agrees that if this following Alisha and helping with this is not too much of a diversion, like it doesn't take us too far off track. So I agree with Kalador that this seems like a worthy use of our time, and it seems quite pressing. So I think Shuktu is on board for that. It'll also be like, I think, and I think that there's some small, not trepidation, but I think you'll all notice that there's some not even hesitation, just a little uncertainty in Shuktu's tone and demeanor about this. I mean, because Shuktu's only starting to get used to being out here and up here, and being in the castle and being near the castle is one thing. Safety is here, and he knows that he can go there. But like going out, even going to see the giants, he was like, "What now?" In fact, I think I'll just call it in my head. Even though he lives in the Underdark, I don't even think he's seen a fire giant before. So. This is
stone giants. You would have definitely, because stone giants do live in the Underdark as well, and these are stone giants, not fire.
Oh, sorry. So stone giants, and they would be common enough that it's almost certain I would have seen one in my life.
Not seen one, but you'd be aware of them. They are very belligerent in the Underdark, and to be honest, in most places.
Fair enough. But I think that's what I mean. Like, heard of, yes. Whether or not I physically have encountered one before, I'm going to say no.
No, probably not.
Because I actually like to play off that like awe and oh my god. So I think that I'm okay with helping, and I'm happy to go and help out with these things. And Knox, like, I'm with you if this is important to you. And so I'm here to help you in that. But I think both of you will get a sense that, there is a bit of that hesitation of, this is going to be a lot for Shuktu to go out there on his own, even with you. And there's a lot of uncertainty about what that is going to mean for him.
One other thing that we didn't talk about too, because we were sort of, there's a lot that was happening. But Alisha, I expect everything that George, as Bukarab, about the Black Star, about that investigation of that cult that had all the markings in there. Remember, there was that like corrupted adventuring party that you guys came across that was murdered by the Cerebrolith, and then you were facing their ghosts. I expect Alisha would have shared all of that stuff with you as context for your understanding of the Black Star. So it's not just like only things are focusing through you. There's things moving with creatures that you don't even know that have been seemingly connected to this Black Star, Shothra Got.
Right. Yeah. So there's definitely something that's been going on for a long time. Whoever or whatever the Black Star may actually turn out to be related to or part of is not entirely known. So, but we know that these things are happening and have been in the works for a long time. So it's related to Knox kind of tangentially. The main through line is what's this overall goal that the Black Brotherhood has. And then the other thing, though, that is Knox related is that, and maybe this is one of the other reasons that Shuk2, maybe that you, or both of you, Kalador and Shuk2, might make you even more willing to go after this cache, is that Knox Al-Hamazad let me know that I needed to find some ancient texts, magical texts, that might be in the possession of people like the Silent Ones. That would help me sort of get on that path to.
This book would contain knowledge that you require.
Not directly.
That's correct.
Yeah, because whatever whatever is in the possession of the Silent Ones, assuming that it promised Jargos is a member of the Silent Ones, those are things that were in the possession of the Scarlet Brotherhood, aka the Black Brotherhood.
Right.
So not necessarily this type of thing he's looking for, but it is involving the Silent Ones. So in a way, you're kind of looking to rob the people who may have the information that you are looking for. Though that may not. One of the things we talked about when we went offline is that you need not. This is the task that Estwood was putting Alisha to, and these two Sioux doppelgangers masquerading as her allies. That is not to say that that is what needs to be done. What you're assuming he's not lying, then you know that there is a cache there. You know that the Silent Ones are apparently involved. How you choose to address all of that is really up to you.
Right.
Because what do you do if you get that stuff? Do you guys try and use that information yourself? Do you turn it over to the Church of St. Cuthbert in based out of Threshold? I will remind you who you're. There is someone who's from the Church of St. Cuthbert.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Out of Threshold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's also.
Wait, we would piss him off if we did this?
Well, he's. I think he's missing. You guys learned that he's been missing. Yeah, since you guys came back to the surface.
Oh. Okay. Like we just learned this since we returned to the surface the most recent time?
No. Before you guys went down in search of Tanev, you guys were given the feel out for things, and you heard from Geralt, I believe, the Gnarlywood, or not Gnarlywood, the Heronshire Ranger. He told you, that there was a group of like paladins or other priests that moved through Milbourne on the way to Palfrey's Keep, and that you know who was you heard that from was you contacted, what's his name, the guy who got copy struck from by HBO. what's his name? Well, here we go, Ranaval.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I think he was the one who told you that brother Edric had gone missing. But
and Kevin, the silent ones, the silent tower, I
Yes.
want to say, is in Keelan somewhere.
Correct.
Is that right?
that's right, yeah.
Okay. So that may be where I ultimately need to go, but for now, it seems like this is the path to undertake.
So,
Yeah.
Cal, what do you make of all this?
Well, this stuff about Knox is very troubling, but there's too much trouble right now to focus on that, and he's just gonna believe that Knox is destined to save the world, and then file that away under to do. As far as the Alisha stuff, I think that she's proven a good ally, and if she has a pressing matter, he's ready to load up and let's go deal with this right now. Tanev is pressing, but we need to prepare before we can do that. So unfortunately, he has to put that on sort of the back burner or the. So, I mean, he's telling his friends, let's act, let's not talk. We've spent too much time talking. We must go. And he's probably packing up. As far as the dwarves, I don't know. We have to just show them how to get back to the Underdark.
Well, or should I feel like we should ask them what they want.
Sure. Offer them the option of come with us or stay here, or show them the entrance to the Underdark. Give them the three options, I guess.
So
Yeah.
What are your three options that you're presenting to Tordek and Gilder?
I think
They were working on getting
Jeff,
the Forge up and running again.
Yeah, so I think one of them then is definitely to remain here in the keep, and we'd be happy to have them if they want to stay. It's up to them. But we also know that they are from Citadel Silver and may want to return to their people. That's another option. And the other was they had descended into the night below to gather information about their ancestor. And I don't know if they had completed what they were up to, or if they needed to go back. Yeah. No, so those seem to be the three things: stay in this arc in Risen Spire Keep, go back to Citadel Silver, or return to the Underdark where we found them.
Okay. We'll say we don't care what you do. You can stay here, you can fuck off, or you can fuck down. Your choice.
Unfortunately, those are your options.
So yeah, I think what they'll, if you present that to them, you can imagine this is like they've been getting sort of the Forge up and running as much as they can for it. They'll inform you that the Forge was likewise Dwarven make.
Oh, interesting.
So they say, well, where are you going then? Are you intending on leaving this place with no guardians at all? And the other one says, or are you expecting us to do it for free? You're leaving it for orcs again. They're still out there, one would assume.
I turned to Kalador and checked him like, I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we hadn't really thought it through as far as payment for you to stay here and protect it, but we would be happy to compensate
the two
you.
Look at one another. We are dwarves, but and all dwarves are warriors of one kind or another, but we're primarily miners. Our craft is below. You think this would not fall to some other foul thing as soon as you stepped away. Assuming that fortune allowed you to return here.
That's true.
It is possible. It is possible. I will say that Alisha was here by herself.
Oh,
Nothing untoward happened to her.
That's the one that left the keep open for anyone to come walking in.
She did, but only at the behest of another that she trusted.
Aye.
And nothing happened to the keep, as you see. No one has moved in to take it over. Now, I'm not saying that wouldn't happen or can't happen. I guess our question to you is, would you prefer to stay here? We must leave. We have no choice. Would you prefer to remain here in our absence? Or
Have you any
prefer to
magics?
travel?
Can you transport us? You seem like a wizard.
That's great. Just rubbing in that I'm only a 6th-level wizard. Unfortunately, that is beyond my capabilities at the moment. And we don't have any other. We were using the travel stones. We had no other means of.
No,
right?
yeah, you guys haven't.
I
think. Let's see here. I think it's only wizards and sorcerers and warlocks who can learn teleportation. But let's double check here.
Kalador will.
Oh, Barts. Barts as well.
Pull his friends over for a second so that he can sort of whisper to them and say, I might have an idea of what could keep them here and not only pay them, but remember the vault of treasure. It's full of, what is it, platinum?
Electrum.
There's down below. If we were to tell them of such a thing and that, they could begin figuring out how to get it up. And when we return, we could work with them to retrieve it. We could make them rich beyond their wildest dreams.
And
my dreams are quite rich.
I pulled my friends aside so they couldn't hear us.
I know.
Okay. I tried to anyway.
I know, far enough.
Right.
You Electrum stealing dwarves.
I mean, that is.
What do you think?
They are miners. This is exactly the sort of thing that they excel at and perhaps would enjoy doing, rather than remaining here. So and earn a fortune at the same time.
Yes, and it's certainly quite low on our current to-do list.
Yes,
to retrieve
outsourcing. That is the key.
It may be our only way of ever retrieving it is to gain the help of someone else.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you think we should present this opportunity to them?
I think we should. Do you agree, Shuck, too?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You want to do that, Kalador?
Yeah. Then we'll go back.
They've been talking to one another as well too, and as you guys walk up, like, shh.
we were talking about payment. Well,
you were talking about payment.
During our travels, we learned that directly below this keep. Can I tell them about how far down? Like, I can estimate how Kalador would describe it, like fathoms or.
It's a 1,000-foot drop from the chasm from there, so it's got to be about close to 1,200 feet down.
Okay, yeah. Just because he would sort of like to tell them, yeah, roughly, 1,200 feet below, there's a vault that has been knocked out of this keep and is sitting in a pool of lava. And we know it to be full of Electrum. If we could find a way to pull it back up here and recoup all of that metal, we could share in its wealth, and we could give you an equal portion to our party for its return.
The two dwarves turn to one another. How full?
I don't know, what would Kalador estimate? Probably.
I think it's like a third full. Like there was a lot of treasure that was in there. So
more coins than we could make more coins than you could carry. I'll tell you that.
I can carry quite a few.
And you will be carrying as many as you can when you leave this place.
Gilder says, what were the dimensions of the vault? And you would be able to provide them. He asks for specific things. You see him look down, and he sort of like starts jotting stuff down into the dirt as if he's doing calculations.
Yeah, dwarven riches calculations.
The other one looks over and you can hear him say in comment, "Is that right?" Kind of clears it up, musses up the dirt. Well, we have a counter proposal.
Okay. We're listening.
It's unknown among the wider world that Broken Spire Keep has been occupied again, cleansed of what was here. If you intend to rule from here as your seat of power, at the blessings of the palfreys or otherwise, there may be an advantage to have a source of income for this holding. You said it was the palfreys who sent you here.
Yes.
Did you have a charter?
We do, don't we? No, we don't.
Nope. I think I know where this is going.
So if you have no charter, then this was a ruin, abandoned.
Oh, I do not know where this is going. Never mind.
The yeomanry, in general, does not recognize any hereditary claims to land. It's a reason Citadel Silver came here in the first place. It is the voice of the people who choose who leads. And it is through ownership that and possession that one holds lands. The palfreys lost this land. You did not come here under their charter, so you can claim this as spoils. And so long as you have the support of those who would live here, then the yeomanry would recognize you as your own community. That would be assisted if you had other allies, other communities who would recognize the legitimacy of your claim. Say, if the dwarves of Citadel Silver recognized it. And if you intend this to be your holding, having a source of income such as a refurbished and renewed silver mine, that would certainly provide you the means by which to attract other workers and those who would support you in your endeavors.
How much of the... Wait, actually, sorry, is this all out in the open in common?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's all in Dwarvish. Pretend you didn't understand any of that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
They're trying to make themselves understood now. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, I mean, this certainly makes sense. I assume that Citadel Silver is going to want some sort of recompense for such an alliance, more than simply just employment for its people.
You are not wrong there, wee one. We'll expect proper compensation for our knowledge. The gold finders are the ones who dug these mines back in the days of Lothar, Paul Frey. We have the plans to them. We know where the veins are. We know what has been played out, what has yet to be accessed. We also have the miners, and we also, due to certain setbacks in Citadel Silver, a flooding curse, we have an abundance of workers who seem unable to access our mines. We would take a premium, most certainly. Our expertise is worth it. Our labor, the same. But you...
Agree.
You would have the support of an established community. You'd have dwarves to guard your lands, to re-establish your mines, and to bring their riches out from beneath.
So the question I would have for you then, given that you've just pointed out to us that ownership and possession determines one's holdings here and the recognition thereof. If we were to indulge this kind offer of assistance, this exchange, we would be by necessity inviting a great many of your people into this claim of ours. How do we know that, and I mean no disrespect, friend dwarf, but you can see that we are a little bit outnumbered here. How do we know that our ownership of this castle, its grounds, and the veins below remains ours and does not simply transfer to you once all of your people just show up?
Well, let me ask you this then. Would we tell you if we intended to do so?
Perhaps not, but under our present circumstances, it strikes me that it's not like we would have much of a choice. You could also just go home right now and show up with all your friends and take it from us if you wished.
What those of you from the surface would know is that the yeomanry does, like, taking it from, it's something that would be held by orcs or, demon worshippers or necromancers, shit like that. That wouldn't be considered lawful ownership because they're unlawful people. You guys taking possession of this, your salvage of this place, as it were, would be recognized.
Sure.
So the dwarf showing up and then trying to take it from you would be the same as Lord Palfrey marching to Milbourne and trying to take that over.
Right.
That's unlawful.
So, but like, and obviously Shukta would have no idea.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But even just for Andrew's knowledge, like this is all kind of time dependent, right? Like we have to lay a claim to it before the dwarves can do so, because right now there's no actual knowledge. Like the higher ups and the powers that be who could grant this don't have any knowledge that we've done this. So,
and a claim that would be recognized by somebody. If you guys did try and lay claim to this and told Palfrey, well, we've got this now. Palfrey is an established name and an established community. In theory, could say, a bunch of bandits have just taken my ancestral keep. I need to find other heroes to go and kick these fuckers out. and then the position is for you. So
we would need to go to the powers that be within the yeomanry and make this claim first before Palfrey can and before the dwarves can.
It's also a matter of having the support of the people. So,
but this is the kind of catch-22 I'm kind of getting at, though. Like, we need the dwarves to make our claim legitimate.
Yep.
And to avoid like Palfrey just coming in here and taking it from us. But there's nothing stopping the dwarves from also just doing the exact same thing to us and taking it before we get to make that legitimate
there's
claim.
not like, it's sort of a you could think of it as it's not quite the same as like asking forgiveness than permission kind of thing, but like you don't ask before you establish a community for recognition because you're not a community. There's no one to vote for you. The yeomanry is a democracy. So if you don't have anyone there, you have to build up the community and then make yourself established as someone who should sit on the council with the other democratically elected members of the rulers of the yeomanry. Okay. But it is also a fiction. It's a fiction of, in the same way that it's supposed to be one person, one vote in Threshold, but Threshold is a theocracy. So is it a democracy when you let everyone vote by saying, I'll let the church make all decisions for us?
Yeah, no.
Because that is technically how they get to be a theocracy within a democracy.
Fair. Well, and obviously I'm conscious of like, this is a game and there are choices and there are risks with every choice. So I get that for sure. Okay, cool.
Well, why don't I make my real estate skill check here? Oh, wait, that's not on my list.
I'm going to check my property values.
Exactly.
Yeah. Really, and like it is very much a fiction. Like the until you establish it, but what they're effectively offering is someone to go along with the fiction. This would likely be completely contrary to what Lord Palfrey, your friend Lintern, had, asked you to do. But it's your call.
I mean, I was trying to decide if I should do this in character or not. So maybe
Fireball.
But yeah. Yeah, okay. And that was me, George, doing the fireball. No, I'm like, hold on a second, I'm gonna pull Shuck to Kalador's hat again. And say, okay. They spoke in Dwarvish. Like, unless we all speak Elvish, I don't know.
No, it's still common.
All right. Okay, good. Well, I'm just trying to make sure they don't understand what we're saying. So based on so I think Knox comes aside, takes everybody aside, and says, well, based on that discussion, Chuck, too, I wonder, you've made many good points. I wonder, how would it hurt us if we were to agree to this relationship now? We would gain something, which is them helping make us seem legitimate, even though it is a fiction. And we might potentially lose something, but we would potentially lose that anyway.
Yeah, the silver boule.
Well, the silver boule is, out there too. But if
we got a chicken on that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my God, I didn't know what to, yeah, exactly. So, but if the fear that we have is that they may just come and lay claim to everything below the keep or the keep itself, etc. What's stopping them from doing that if we don't make this deal with them? Like, it does not give them the ability to do that if one way or the other. Like, they can do it regardless, right? It seems.
Yes, making the deal makes it much more likely for them to stick to it and honor it. In fact, turning down this deal makes it more likely for them to just go back to their people and come back and try and take this keep. I think
this is really turning into, if we're getting into subsurface mineral rights, things. This is genuinely Alberta content then.
I'm actually loving this. This is the kind of like even if I'm kind of ham-fisting the intrigue, the presumed intrigue into this, but I'm actually really I'm liking this. Apologies, viewers. This is probably not making for very thrilling. But no, I'm only look.
Happy when it rains.
The rules where I'm from are I don't pretend to understand how things up here work. I'm just naturally suspicious. We've worked very hard to clear this place out. We've paid some very hefty prices for that. You know, we've lost Druin twice now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we may so I'm just trying to be protective of this, and I'm a bit of a, you know me, I'm a bit of a loner, and I am naturally suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, you make very excellent points. This is not to disagree with bringing up this topic at all. I think actually very important for us to think through, and this is not something we've really had to deal with. This sort of, I mean, and again, for people who are watching, like, this is a domain thing that we're kind of dealing with, so it actually ties in perfectly.
Thanks, Colville.
There you go. But so you know, Knox definitely is. You know, he's like, this is really, you're making. He wouldn't have thought of any of this.
Yeah.
But we really should be thinking about it. So it's actually great that you brought this up.
Well, and I want to be very clear with both of you as well. And I'll tell our new friends this as well. I tried to make that clear anyway. This is not a mistrust, you know, because of the way in which we encountered these dwarves, or because they are dwarves. Druin, you know, has become a good friend. I trust that. I am just thinking practically. There are literally like 5 of us, and that is all. And I'm sure that they have the best of intentions here, and perhaps also all of their people do, but. We're talking a great deal of silver and an open opportunity to mine it, and a currently unclaimed, legally anyway, place. That was my only thought. But
yes,
perhaps we need to trust. We cannot gain the allies we need to make a legitimate claim on this place unless we are willing to take some risks, and that risk involves some degree of trust. But I would also suggest we are considering it's one thing to have the 5 of us here and have them do this while we are here supervising and watching. It is another if we are also planning on taking to the road and going on some other adventures while leaving this place effectively unguarded and open for anybody.
I mean, actually, that is true, but this may actually benefit us for if they bring their people back through here and we give them use of the keep, it will seem and actually be occupied.
Yes,
so perhaps
that if we assume that they are being completely forthright and trustworthy, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be, other than my own paranoia, but you know, certainly this would benefit us and give us the flexibility to go and do what we need to do without worrying about more orcs coming back or what have you. It would also help us keep perhaps those illithid from coming up. We should probably warn them about that too.
Yes.
Maybe tell them don't go delving too deeply until we're back and we figure out a proper approach to this. But
dwarves delving too deeply?
True.
We've got that in our contract.
True.
Dwarf too greedily and too deep. We insist on it. Also, no
That's
brown
right.
M&Ms.
That's just all of that stuff is boilerplate for dwarves.
Exactly. Zona Rider.
But I think Chuck too, this allows us to take an informed risk. So we know that it is a risk, but at least we know why we would be taking this risk. I agree, their risk is there. I think though that this may be the best way, considering the various circumstances we're dealing with at the moment. We need to leave soon, and there will be no one here at the keep. In the future, this may serve us well. in terms of laying our claim to the keep and its surrounding areas.
Yeah. Well, and as just a final thought, I don't know, let this go and we can do what we're going to do. But I mean, we also did on our own, with some help from an ally or two, clear out this entire castle of a horde of bloodthirsty orcs and a necromancer. I'm sure we can also take on some dwarves if that were ever become necessary.
That's actually an excellent point, because the dwarves will know this, and those in this area will know this. So we will be seen as a group that can help keep these lands safe.
Did our new dwarf friends see you chatting with your new friend who showed up, by the way?
They were probably too drugged to.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, okay.
Right, that's right. That's right.
Well, and that's assuming they also would have any reason to know who the hell that old info dump wizard was.
Yeah.
The
exposition wizard was looks the same as any other old human to them. I guess one thing I'll bring up then is, how do you wish to handle Lord Palfrey?
We don't, for now.
That's a real tough one.
Cal, what are you thinking? What are you thinking of? Because the Silver Boule was a grant of a business, a grant of an opportunity to own and operate a business in Lord Palfrey's lands in Thurmaster. You guys really kind of made that community what it was. Because just as a reminder, what it was like before you guys got there. I think I've got a handout that shows you pre you guys arriving. Yeah, here we go.
And Kevin, how far do Palfrey's lands extend?
Again, there's not really like a leg. There's not really so much a ownership or whatnot.
Maybe.
To yeah, it's as far as you can continue to have influence over people. But his lands are sort of out to the redwood, where there is foresting, lumber, forestry. Is that what,
forestry,
yeah. And Thurmaster are their lands, and then it's far to the northeast is where the giants were, who helped rebuild Palfrey's Keep at your request as well. Seems also that he's been allied himself with Threshold, and that also is, remember, it was after one of your guys' absence and the experience with the cursed sword, where he suddenly found religion quite strongly.
Right.
When you guys came back, I think the most recent time is you found he was under the influence of Brother Edric, and then that apparently has changed as well, and there's new folks from it. But if Threshold extends its influence out, remember, each of these communities is, in theory, a democracy that just supports itself. If you're spreading your theocracy out and making sure everyone worships your faith, and they all turn over their votes to the church, that's de facto creating a larger state within a state, as it were. So,
yep. Okay. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to point a clarification on that, so just so I was aware. Okay.
Yeah.
And that map brings back memories.
It really does.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. I was looking at your illustrations and I was looking at the map. I'm like, it's been a while since I've drawn, so I really should. Yeah, like it's been probably like 2.5, maybe 3 years since I was I stopped doing the daily drawing thing, and it's been a while. Maybe I should think about picking it up again.
It's just like,
yeah, there's Threshold way up there. So
what do you think, Kalador?
He's torn. It's returning to the Silver Boule and that, and continuing that, it seems so distant right now. And anyone we care about there, we could offer to come here to this keep and live a life here as well. I don't know. He doesn't feel too beholden to the laws of man, I think, is part of it. I mean, as an elf, it's,
Do you have a sense? What would be your guess as to how the Palfreys may respond to the idea that we had laid claim to the keep? Do you have any thoughts?
If I'm remembering correctly, I feel like didn't we convince him to go on this mission and reclaim this for him? Like it wasn't even on his radar. It wasn't a thing. He didn't ask us to. We sort of volunteered to.
We did. We absolutely volunteered to come and solve this problem. And the only thing, if I am remembering correctly, the only claim that Pretty Boy here made was to some trinkets and baubles that were in the keep that he wanted returned. Some family heirlooms. Which actually I completely forget what those heirlooms actually were, but there were some physical objects in the castle that he wanted returned to him. So unless one of those objects happens to be a deed, I don't think he never said anything about any intent to reoccupy this space. If anything, it seemed obviously we know he's got his own problems to deal with. They are not small, and the whole reason he had not moved on the castle in the first place was because he lacked the means to do so. He didn't have enough people because he didn't know exactly how bad off it was. And so I think, plus the risk of like trying to do this while dealing with the stuff he has to deal with back at home, it's stretching himself too far. So I think this is why I'm not being flippant when I say like ignore him and don't do anything with him. I think we wait. He knows we're down here doing stuff. We eventually show up and bring him whatever the heck objects it was that we were supposed to bring him. Maybe I'll go back and watch that episode to remember what they were.
I'm not sure he identified what they were, to be honest.
That's super helpful.
Yeah. But what objects were found in here that seemed to be a ancestral or legacy thing for a family of paladins?
The chapel in the basement where we found Alisha.
You didn't find Alisha in that chapel. There was a ghost that was down there.
Yeah, sorry, the ghost. Yeah,
but Oathkeeper. Alicia's weapon.
Yeah, I don't think Alicia's gonna want to part with that anytime soon. So maybe we hold off on that. Well, we haven't reneged on any deals we made with him yet. We have recovered the object. We just haven't immediately brought it back to him. I think that's all I'm saying. Like,
and I mean, I think he would definitely see our presence here as at least, that we are he would consider us allies of his at this point. And so at the very least, the keep would be in the hands of his allies, and, he'd always be welcome here, or, I don't think that our quote unquote taking of it has to even be permanent, at least in Kalador's eyes too. Like I don't know about you, but I've never lived in one place for a long period of time. So, to dwell in this keep for 20 years would be a miracle. I feel we haven't stopped moving since I met you.
And nothing but weather check after weather check after weather check.
Exactly. And the weather on here is insane. I've lost so much equipment to wind.
Oh my goodness.
You are correct, Kalador. I think the one wild card in this is that we actually don't know how the Palfreys feel about us, because things have a habit of changing on us when we're not around. So the only thing we can't 100% rely on is what we may find if we do go there. Especially if he's become very religious.
Right.
That could be a great thing, not a great thing. He could be in somebody else's control, or we just don't know. So perhaps, Chuck 2, are you suggesting we just avoid Palfrey for the moment?
Just for the moment. You know, frankly, I think we also have more than enough of our own business to attend to and work that we need to do, and not a great deal of time in which to do it, and not enough of us to go off and split up and do all these things at the same time. So, you know, it's not like we have liberty to travel all the way back to Palfrey's Keep to deliver Oathkeeper, regardless of Alicia's willingness to part with it.
Hold on, let's give Dave an opportunity to object to that. Dave, if you object to the returning of Oathkeeper to Count Lintern, just let us know right now. No.
How about now?
No, well, but that's my point too. Obviously, we would never make a decision on that without Dave here. But like, you know, it is unlikely that Alisha
practically speaking, then I guess,
that.
like,
but,
do you intend?
But even if she's willing, like the trip there, the trip back, by the time we get back, we'll have missed the opportunity to do some of these things, and that could create other problems for us too.
That's true too. So perhaps what makes most sense is to head to Haven, and after we then parlay with the giants, perhaps we can come back to this and address it then. What is that? What do you think, Kalador?
Okay, yeah.
So the dwarves aren't on board with that. If you're leaving this open, it's abandoned.
No. I mean about going to Palfrey.
Oh, so you are going to make a deal with Citadel Silver?
I think we should. That's my vote. If you both think that would make sense.
The flooding, incidentally, do you have any suspicions of what that might be? Why they're having difficulty with mining?
Did they mine inside this mire and then just accidentally open up the ceilings?
It's actually an event that predates you joining the campaign, Andrew.
Oh, never mind then.
A certain cursed ring that was taken, that was flooding the new mire.
Right. It was expanding.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Took that cursed ring and someone delivered it somewhere up into Citadel Silver, because remember, the Master of Millborn also has silver mines. And if he does not have the dwarves to compete with, the dwarves have been dealing with flooding in their tunnels for their mines for 2 years now.
Right. I think that we should make this deal with Citadel Silver. They seem like it would benefit. It seems like it would benefit them, according to them, and I do think it would benefit us, at least in a short-term way.
I think so. Yeah.
Shatu, you're good with that? It sounds like.
I think so. Yeah.
Very well. So we'll return, and then we'll go shh, like they did.
Yeah. They both look at one another. Canny negotiators, I see.
We believe that this bargain would serve both of us. We would like to engage with this, but our only question is, do you have the authority to make such an agreement?
I'm the heir. It says, we're going to get him back here. It's not Goldrick. What's his name?
Goldfinder.
I know Goldfinder is his last name. I just don't remember what his first name is.
Oh, his first name. Right.
Let me bring you guys here. Move part of your own. There we go. Not Godric. Gilder.
No. There we go.
I played varsity volleyball with a guy named Gilder. Come on. Gilder Goldfinder. He's sort of the scion of the Goldfinder clan. I can make that deal. He spits in his hand.
Okay, I'll spit in my hand and clasp hands with him.
All right.
Very well. It is done then.
It is done. Count Knox.
I'm writing that down.
Then, guys, with a pact made with the Citadel Silver to steal the lands of the Paul. I mean, to properly support your.
Lawyer boy.
It's all about the perspective. Then that is very interesting. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, wait, XP. Let's do 500 XP again. That was some really good role playing, some good decisions, and some good. You know what? Make it 1,000 XP because it was good
nice.
Pushing the narrative forward, making a clear idea where to go next.
I just want to make for the note. I caught one little thing Kevin just said a moment ago.
Yeah.
Good decisions. I just want that on the record. He said
Aye.
we just made good decisions.
You guys always make good decisions. It either leads to
associate good
monsters
with
or more
good
monsters
consequences.
or complications for you guys. You guys just keep making my job easier. It's great. Then for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 229 of our Night Below campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and we'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server where all of us are active, and we have channels there dedicated to this game, this campaign, and most other games and campaigns we run on the channel, as well as Find a Group, GM discussion, and virtual tabletop chat. There's a terrific, knowledgeable, helpful, and friendly community over there, and you're more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find out-of-print RPGs. Like, I don't know, Jeff, can you think of any hard-to-find out-of-print RPGs one might find at Noble Knight Games?
Oh, I still have Dark Eye here now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
So yes,
game.
Ulysses Spiela's The Dark Eye could be picked up from there. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list and they'll send you an email when it comes in. Oh, yep, Star Wars Saga Edition, most definitely. And if they don't have something in stock, you can put it on a want list and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MuserNight. It's all caps, all one word, listed in the description of the video. It'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more through their website. There's also a link down below to the Hero Save Villages campaign. If you missed it recently, we had our first annual, it's our first ever charity marathon stream, a 16-hour 4-part session that of Dragonbane. I'll be posting hopefully this weekend. We still have the stream that's on there, but YouTube has condensed the video down to 12 hours from the 16 hours. I want to post 2 8-hour halves of the campaign if you want to watch the whole thing. You can still donate to the campaign down below. We thank everybody who joined us for that, and everyone who supported the marathon. I'm going to be shooting a video soon before my vacation to do a breakdown and a debrief of it, so I'll be sharing that soon. But thank you very much to everybody who made that such a successful event. The last thing I'll say, speaking of people who made things successful, a huge thank you to our stalwart heroes. So Andrew, Jeffrey, George, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. Congratulations on making your new, I guess making friends with your neighbors might be a way of thinking of it. So...
Yeah.
Then, for those listening at home, we'll be back in 1 week's time to see what outcome comes from this new pact with the Dark Dwarf. Wait, did I say Dark Dwarves? Sorry, I'm sure there's normal dwarves. There's nothing dark about them. It's just they have a lot of sun. And we'll be back in 1 week's time. And until then, we hope that we gave you an hour or so to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes of Harenshire are encountering, sometimes of their own making. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.